to Thought for Shabbat for Friday, March 7th. We are just a week away from celebrating Purim. And I have to admit to you, when I was younger, I don't think I appreciated Purim enough. These days, though, when I look at the holiday of Purim and the story of Esther, I see so many important lessons for us to embrace. There are, of course, lessons for us as Jews living in the diaspora. We can be like Esther and Mordechai and embrace our Jewish identity and learn how to celebrate it even when it feels difficult. And there are stories about how our people have survived and thrived despite all kinds of terrible circumstances in the book of Esther. And then, of course, the lesson of Purim is that it is good to celebrate. We need to be silly sometimes. We need to find joy. We need to dress up, and we need to turn the world topsy-turvy sometimes. And that is good for the soul. And so, in honor of Purim coming up, I thought I'd share with you two of my favorite verses from the book of Esther and some of the lessons that I see with these particular verses. The first lesson and the first verse comes a little bit earlier in the book of Esther in chapter 4, when Mordechai is speaking to Esther after she's already become one of the queens in King Ahasuerus' court. Mordechai is kind of boosting Esther and telling her it is her job to fight for her people, and that if she doesn't, who else will? This is her moment, even if she's scared, even if she feels unprepared. And Mordechai says to her, "Who knows, perhaps you have attained this royal position for just this moment." Mordechai reminds her that there's a big picture at hand that we may not totally understand. And the fact that she has this power now means that she can really stand up for her people. And so this moment speaks to me sometimes, right? When I'm feeling not so sure of myself, I remind myself, maybe this is the moment for me to stand up. There is more for me to do for my people, for the world around me. Who knows? Maybe this is why I'm here. And I think that can speak to all of us when we're feeling a little unsure of our purpose, or where we're feeling downtrodden and upset about the anti-Semitism in the world and what we can do about it. Who knows? Maybe we've been put in this place in this moment for just this purpose. And then towards the end of the book of Esther, there is another verse which we actually read when we're saying goodbye to Shabbat for Havdalah as well. The verse reads, La Yehudim hayta ora v'simcha v'sason v'kar. And the Jews enjoyed light and happiness and honor. And this comes as the Jewish people in the story of Esther are getting ready to defend themselves against all that Haman has planned. They have a light in their hearts. They have a light and a joy because they know that they are meant to survive. And the rabbis in the Jerusalem Talmud point to this particular verse as a lesson for how we can look to the future and what we can imagine for ourselves. The rabbis look at the whole story of the book of Esther and how it starts where Mordechai is sitting outside the city gates and Esther is just some nobody, and then they both work their way up to the point where Mordechai ends the story as one of the advisors to the king. Esther is a queen leading her people, and we get to La Yehudim hayta ora. The Jews have light. They have light and gladness and honor. And the rabbis in the Jerusalem Talmud say that redemption, a more perfect world, happens in this way as well. It happens step by step. It is little moments of fighting against oppression, of fighting against all of the hatefulness that we see in the world. So step by step, we can make a more perfect world. And we can bring about this idea of redemption to the point where eventually the light grows in our hearts. And so when we sing this verse, La Yehudim hayta ora, there's one melody in particular that I really love. And we'll do it this week and this Friday night, tonight in Shabbat services as well. So I hope to see you to get a little bit of the book of Esther in services this week. And then I hope that you will join us to celebrate Purim next weekend. It just so happens that this Sunday is the last day to register for our temple's Purim party. So register below. Shabbat Shalom. Looking forward to seeing you.